Hey everybody, Dauntless here, and welcome back to another episode of Dowell and the Ghost of Barker Manor. I am hell-bent on finishing this game. I think it's kind of obvious that in the last couple episodes I've been getting pretty frustrated with some of the puzzles, but I'm gonna just say that even if I'm not enjoying the game as much as I would hope, I do intend on trying to finish whatever game I'm playing, and this is for any game. The only time I'll basically stop putting up videos for a game, or if I won't complete it, is if either A, it's like the Civil War Ultimate Generals game, where I basically need to be doing something else because nobody really wants to watch it, or if, or more likely in that case, it's because I got myself horribly stuck and basically just, I was gonna say I lost interest, but then it's like, that still sounds bad. Basically, I just got into other stuff, and it was obvious it's not really a big, it's not something that's very appealing to watch somebody play it. Unless you are really into that kind of thing, it's not something that people would find interesting. There's not a lot of action or activity in it. I personally think the game is fantastic, and I still want to get back to playing it, and eventually I might start putting up a couple games at a time. I'll do, like, Tales next, or something like that. And then I'll also maybe have another game going on at the same time that's not an adventure game, just so I can kind of have a couple things going on at once. But we'll see how that works. Now, with this one, as I was saying, I'm not going to basically stop the completion. I think in this case it's an adventure game, so I kind of feel like I have to complete it. It doesn't if you watch the Ultimate General Civil War games, you can start a mission, watch one video, and you'll get pieces of the mission. I'll put up like a whole mission or something, but it's not like there's a storyline where you're going, okay, well, what happened next, So, with adventure games, I'll put it this way. With adventure games, I will not stop playing the game if I don't like it. The only reason I will stop playing an adventure game is if the content suddenly turns to something where I don't feel like it's appropriate to put up. And so far, this has had some pretty questionable stuff, but I think it's managed to stay to the point where I'm not going to get, my videos, hit with any tags or warnings or flags or whatever they want to call it on YouTube these days. Because of, the content or anything. But that's basically the only thing I'll be kind of more questionable about, is basically the content. And I have a huge list of games that I want to play, adventure games, and I guarantee you I will finish all of them, including the much, the much debated Deponia, which I guarantee you I've beaten the first episode once. And then I went back and tried to play through it again, and I still had a hard time remembering how to get through all the puzzles. So, that's going to be one that's going to be like the 150 episode long monstrosity as I'm sitting there trying to figure out some of the most random puzzle solutions of all time. And speaking of puzzle solutions, now I'm going to start actually talking about this game. You knew it had to happen at some point, right? On my last video, I received a couple tips. And the first one had to do with the magpie. The one that has the crank for the toy box. And not the toy box, the music box. And the tip was toys. This makes me nervous, because I looked at that toy box, and it didn't say anything about it. It said it's a bunch of toys, and I tried using my hand, and nothing happened. So, the magpie is out the window, right? I guarantee you it's there, so I have to figure something out there. So if I look at the toys, it's a heap of dusty old toys. I just gave him a Liverpool accent again. Dang it. But, again, if you look at all the stuff, you have to look at this tiny little blue thing right here. Now, here's why I know that so quickly right now, and that's because as soon as I got that tip, I jumped on the game, ran over to here, and looked at the toy box, and pixel hunted again, and went, oh, look, there's a tiny little item right here. I don't think I need to tell you my opinion on pixel hunting puzzles. That's the second time this game has done this, and it drives me nuts. I think it's kind of a cheap way to extend the game out. It's kind of like when they have, you know, the action-adventure things where you're exploring, and you have all these worlds you can go to, but then they have this thing where it's like, okay, we're going to do procedurally generated worlds, like Andromeda. What was it? Mass Effect Andromeda? And you go to all these planets like, okay, go here, do the same thing you've always done, and then complete it. Or, in my opinion, JRPGs. Grinding your character to whatever level. I know it's an aspect of the game, but there's a certain point where you're sitting there fighting the same things over and over to try and level your characters up, and after a while I'm just sitting there going, this is just artificially extending the game. It doesn't really add to the storyline. And I know it's the game type, but that's just the thing with me, is if I feel like I'm sitting there doing... There are certain things you can do in a game that just feel like it's just dragging the game out. And with this one, and with these games, with adventure games, there's a couple things that I think do that. And I think pixel hunting definitely does that. And I think I finally managed to say exactly kind of my feelings on that whole thing. I think in the last video I'm like, I don't like it because, you know, it's, you know, blah blah, whatever. But, yeah. That's my feelings, is I think it artificially... It's artificial difficulty. It's not because the puzzle is difficult. And I will admit there are puzzles in here that are difficult without being, like, just, you know, retarded. So you'll have a puzzle that's difficult. An example of a puzzle in this game that was difficult, I'd say, is like, what was it? Getting out of the room of the, when you're stuck between the two rooms, and the answer was on the guy's driver's license. I just had to figure out what to put in. As I mentioned before, it seemed a little odd, the time and date, the date that he used, the two things, like month and year instead of day and month, but I don't feel like that's artificially making it more difficult. It means that you have to try and do other things with that number. But it is a slightly more difficult puzzle. That, the pixel hunting, is not difficult because it requires you to think and try and anything like that. It just requires you to take the mouse and drag it over every little item instead of doing what I would normally do in any other adventure game, and that's click, look at it, and he'd say, there's a heap of dusty old toys. I can see, maybe not just mention that one item, like I said, don't mention the one thing on the bookcase, mention there's this book, there's that book, and then there's this book here. And then, if I try to use the hand, you know, I might see if maybe it's a specific book on the case. In this one, say there's a teddy bear, an old dollhouse, a brown ball, and it looks like there's a tear, some sort of crystal teardrop in there. If that makes sense. Because I have tried to look at it, I would expect that using the eye icon, or the looking glass in this case, would be more of like searching the thing instead, and looking at it, not just giving me a general description, giving me at least some description that might help me to understand that there might be something there I need to look at. But anyway, that's just kind of my experience with adventure games. I know that song. Memories from Cats. Hey, a scrap of map. Another scrap of map. That was Memories from Cats. I actually really like that song. There's a version sung by Barbara Streisand, which is truly spectacular. Alright, that was the first suggestion I got. Here's the second one. The second tip. And this is all from the same dude. And I'd like to thank him for helping me out on this one. Because these are two things that are kind of like... Huh? He says, talk, talk, talk. And I think it has to do with the clock. Because that's the only thing I can think of. Unless, let me see. I have two scraps of map. Let's look at them. Ooh. Okay, doesn't make much sense yet, but we'll figure that out. Talk, talk, talk. I think this has to do with the fact that I still have to figure out the the clock. And what were the 6:10 and 2 o'clock were the two clocks that I had. And as I mentioned, there's no foreseeable pattern between the two. And there's no other clocks in the house. So, here's my thing. There's gotta be a... There's got to be something with the two clocks that I'm not seeing. And the thing is, I don't get a close-up of those other two clocks, so... Like... I keep forgetting there's the back button right there. Like, if I look at it, does it... Okay, that's all it does. It doesn't give me anything else. And that was the look icon. And there's nothing else there. You just... Is it something... Let me see. Maybe there's something I can tell with the other two clocks. Like, maybe there's something different... Because that's the only one I can mess with, right? So maybe there's something different with the other two clocks. Let me, if I'm going to tell a difference of appearance, I'm going to have to rely not on my memory. I generally remember images better than I remember text and words and stuff like that. So let's try this. How am I going to do this? Let's just try and do a basic... So there's the face of the clock. There's the little thing on top. There's these two planks down here, these two weird things. And then there's the thing down here that has the door on it. And I know that all of them have that door, right? So let's see if I'm missing something here. The two little... Yeah, the, I'm not gonna try and brute force that. It would take me a whole episode, if not more. This one doesn't have a door at all. It's at 6:10. Why'd I put my pen down? I'll grab a different one right here. So this one's at 6:10. Ah, it's running out of ink! And that's the doorway. And then the hall is 2 o'clock. Anyway, I was saying, I remember images better than I remember text and stuff like that, but at the same time, there's always like little stuff that I might miss. This doesn't have the two embellishments on it, but it does have the door. I wonder if the two embellishments are something. Like they look like they're just decorations. And I think here's the thing about this one. There's no text or there's like not a hand icon to show what you can mess with on this. It's a button. They're buttons. Okay. And there's two, so let's just try this. That one stayed in. And the other one was 2 o'clock. Aha! Again, there wasn't really any information there. You know, I think overall this game would have been fantastic And as I said, I kind of get annoyed by I'm getting annoyed by it, but here's why. One more scrap of the old map. It must be the map Willie's friend told me about. But that didn't give me any information about the wine, did it? I just realized. Talk. Okay, as I was saying, here's the thing that would have made this game basically perfect, and that is, I think I mentioned this in the very start, there's not enough information. I know that, you know, you want to streamline the game, right? You want to streamline it and make sure that you can, that it's not, like, clogged with so much looking at stuff. Like, I can't look at that, that's not bad. You know, I can look at the painting, I can look at, you know, some of this stuff. But at some point, there's too much streamlining where I can't look at the toy box and get an idea that there's something in there that I might need, and I'd have to pixel hunt through it. I can't look at the bookcase or the shelf even. Even just the shelf would have been a good idea. But I have to pixel hunt there. Just little stuff here and there where maybe a little bit of information would have been good, right? And there are parts, I will admit, that are my fault because I wasn't being thorough enough. Let's go down and check out that wine cellar. Maybe I can figure out what's going on. But, talk. But yeah, if you just add just like little bits of more information here and there, just to give you the player the idea that maybe it's useful, that would work out. I will say for the record though, this is still a good game. Despite my complaints, I will just say that I do think this game is very good. It's just frustrating at times because I feel like it doesn't give me just that tiny bit of information to try and point me in the right direction. But I've heard that that's can be an issue. I've heard that other people have mentioned that before, and so I'm hoping maybe it doesn't make me sound like a moron saying that. And I think I've spent quite a bit of this video sitting here giving my opinions on it, but talk. Which one's Willie? Is this guy Willie? Let me summon in Mr. Ghost Boy. Talk. That sounds... I think it sounds like a clock, but I don't think that's it. Okay. That's John. Talk. Wait a minute, what if the other one in the door, the other one with the door opened as well? I doubt it, but I'll check it out. Because downstairs, that was the only one without a door. Okay, no. Talk. Maybe the hammer? I think I used the hammer, didn't I? Didn't I try to use the hammer on those things? I think there was a... What was it? It was a Space Quest game or something like that, where you try to do something, and one of the messages, if it doesn't work, is it says, "We're sorry, but this game is too stupid to know how to complete the." Oh, I can use the cork? But wait, now how am I supposed to get it out, though? The corkscrew is going to be what I need for it. Maybe I need to use the cork to point out which one I think is the right one. Here, I'll point at it. I know I was just saying something, but anyway. Oh yes, this game is too stupid to know what you want to do, and I was just sitting there thinking, we're sorry, this game player is too stupid to know what it is that hint was supposed to mean. Alright, I'd prove myself as an expert in mines. Each barrel source is going to tell me which is the best, and the crook should be yours. Well. Oh, the eye! Oh, nope, he's still not. So... Talk, like the hammer. The best wine is the one from 1916. Bravo, how did you guess? The barrel containing wine from 1916 is empty. It must be the best wine since the barrel has been drained dry. Bravo, how clever of you. I guess appearances can be deceptive. The corkscrew is yours. Is it just me, or did it just fly through the air? These wine fumes must have gone straight to my head. John, where are you? Who knows where he's gone? I hope he does not hurt himself, the drunken fool. Okay, so... now... corkscrew on the cork. There's something inside. Another scrap of the map. Alright. Thank you for giving me the hints and stuff. You had to use the hammer on... the barrel. Was I trying to use it on the cork before? I thought I tried that, but again... anyway. That is actually very clever. I like that puzzle. But again, you know, it doesn't... it's one of those things where, you know, I could have probably been smarter and thought, hey, you know, it's probably the one that he drunk dry, but... that one... but again, you know, there's some puzzles that are really good and they don't need a ton of information. And then there's the ones where it's like, you might want to add in just a little bit more. So now I should be able to give the guy the map, and we'll be fine. Up, other side of the river. The other side. Dun dun dun. I figured he is kind of old. He does have to pass on to the other side at some point. Ooh. I'm making progress, guys. Santiago, I have the map. The legendary map. Yep, bet your ass. Bloody hell! According to the map, it's impossible to lose one's way through the cave. You just need to go straight ahead. Gotta love it. If it is that easy, then how come nobody ever got out alive? There must be some other kinds of dangers. So you're taking me to the Deathly Cave? Hold on. Oof, what is wrong now? There's one thing left to do before I face certain death. Oh, what else? As I told you, I haven't caught a fish in 84 days. Yep, you told me. Let's not obsess over that too much. I've been trying to catch a huge white marlin for months. A huge what? A huge white marlin, a noble violet striped fish. It swims escorted by 2 grey remoras which never let it out of their sight. And the fish and I were locked in a duel of equals. The white marlin symbolizes the challenge I've issued to the sea. I must catch him. I am not doing it to redeem myself, nor to prove to Manolo that I am not a useful man. I need to do it for myself. For if I am to die, I must know I have challenged the sea and won. Do not say another word. I can read the author's mind. I will help you, Santiago. You will finally catch the marlin. It will just be just you and me and the old marlin in the sea. Are you really going to help me out? Sure, the old marlin in the sea. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Don't be hasty. We need to prepare ourselves to catch the sea, challenge the sea, and catch the marlin. You need to get a fishing rod. I have one. It is a marvelous professional-grade fishing rod. Fine. That's not enough, though. Same old story. Yep. You must get a sea dog raincoat. I have one. It's a very fashionable yellow raincoat. Fine. That's not enough, though. Same old story. You need to find some bait to catch the marlin with. What kind of bait do you need for marlin? I don't know. If I did, I would have caught the damn fish. I would have already caught the damn fish. Okay, I'll see to it. We're not done yet. Same old story. Need to get a flashlight, somebody to light our path with. I have one. It's the brightest flashlight ever. Fine. Get the missing items and then come back. Holy baloney. Yeah, and that's again. 2 things that would help the game. More information and at least a few less puzzles to block your way. Bait. What am I going to use for bait to get the marlin? We're going to catch him with shiny things. Okay, so now I gotta figure out bait for this danged fish. What about the fish down here? Oh, I can't use those. Come on, we can use the deer head as bait. That would have been funny. You're out there fishing with a whole deer head. Forget catching the marlin, we're catching sharks! It's nice and early in the morning, it's sunny out, and my dog is nice and happily napping beside me. And I got coffee, which is always a good thing. What am I gonna bait it with? I don't think I've ever seen any, like, worms or anything. In the kitchen, maybe. Food. Let's see what we can find. Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotta use it. I'd better not do that. It might be the remains of what is used to support that skull near the apple. And then what? They're not my size. No thanks. I would need an antidote for that. Let me guess, it's covered in ants. Yummy, said the eager ant. Yep. The rat? Here, maybe I can just talk to him and he'll give me an idea. Hello, Ernie.
Oh, hello, Donald.
Nope. What about the eyeballs? Maybe I just use the fishing rod on it. Nope. Alright, well that's the end of this episode. I have made progress, and I feel good about that. So, I made some progress, but again, there's another puzzle in the way. But anyway, thanks everybody for checking out the video. I really appreciate it. Again, I feel like I should just have like... I would normally try and have like an image at the end where it says like, subscribe and do all that stuff, but if I edit my videos, I have to do it with a free program because those things are super expensive and I just do not have the money to afford that. It's like $500 or something like that. But when it puts out the video, it drops it down to like 720 instead of 1080, and I want to have like high quality videos, which is why I'm kind of trying to do everything as rudimentary as I can without any edits or anything like that. Even if I could edit it, the most editing I would do is maybe have like an intro video and then an outro, an outro where you have like the, you know, some information and stuff like that, and that's about it. Maybe put up like, you know, little messages or something like that as I'm playing to kind of give an idea of, you know, me being an idiot in places and stuff like that, which would unfortunately mean that every single scene in this entire video in this entire video series, I think in all my video series, would be covered in words. But, point is, yeah, I can't really edit much, but if I did, I would cut out my entire spiel at the end here, which goes something like this. Check out my Facebook page, as I will put up messages that if I'm not able to put up videos, or if I have, you know, little bits of information here and there, I will put it up there. So please check out the Facebook page, Dauntless3788. If you have any issues with that, I think I have basically a few people that are friends, like actual friends that I know personally that are on that page. But if you have an issue finding it or even subscribing to it or anything like that, just let me know. Subscribe down below to the YouTube thing, as I will continually put up videos. I really enjoy putting this up. In the future, I may not be able to put up as many videos as, you know, I have before. I'll try to put up a couple videos, you know, here and there throughout the week, making sure I do that. But I have put in an application to do volunteer firefighting, and I want to make sure that I basically keep up with that. On the other hand, it's volunteer, so it's on call, it's something like that, so I won't be like, it's not like I'm going to be spending, you know, 12 hours a day inside the firehouse. It's in addition to my actual job, so it'll be like I get a call and I go to it, but I should obviously be able to find the time to make videos in between calls and working and exercising and, you know, all the other stuff, taking care of the dog and things like that. So I will try and make sure I find the time to do that. Not to mention my own, you know, addiction to World of Warcraft. I love the game, but at times I'm just sitting there going, good grief, there's so much to do. But anyway, I think that's about it. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and I have gotten more comments in this series than I have ever gotten in any other series, so I'd like to thank everybody who's commenting and encourage you, feel free to say whatever you want and drop your comments down below. Try to keep it a little PG. I am trying to maintain somewhat of a family channel here, but family-friendly channel. But thanks again, everybody. I appreciate it, And as always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day.